Big news around LSU this weekend is that LSU defensive end B.J. Ojulari declared for the 2023 NFL Draft. I don't know if that surprised a lot of people. I think a lot of people anticipated really after B.J.'s freshman season when he blew up and became one of the best defenders and defending freshmen in college football. You thought he may be here pretty quick, or he may not stay too long, and to see his third year come and go, where it was a really productive season for BJ. I think when Matt House got the job after he was linebackers coach for the Kansas City Chiefs, he had called plays in the SEC for a Kentucky defense that featured Josh Allen, now with the Jacksonville Jaguars. People looked at B.J. Ojulari and thought, what is Matt House going to do with him? How is he going to use it? I mean, you saw him this season change up the way that he had B.J. out there. I mean, not only is B.J. one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, obviously he's one that can get to the quarterback and create chaos as good as anybody in the sport. They showed off his versatility this year. They let him play in space. They put him in some coverage. They let him play some zone-type scheme that, really I think helped out his draft stock. Obviously, his brother Azeez Ojulari plays for the New York Giants. He's really starting to come to his own, so you can see the bloodline that he has there. I think a couple of times he took home the SEC Defensive Player of the Week throughout the season. I mean, he was as good of an LSU defender as they had this year, and that includes Harold Perkins. Now, when Harold got onto the field, BJ was really kind of the one that suffered for the most part at the beginning of it. Then they were able to find a formula to keep them both out there. I think BJ is going to have an excellent NFL career. You will not find somebody more polite, more respectful, more ready for the opportunity, a good representative of LSU. Number 18, obviously somebody that I think, really entails everything that goes into that number at LSU. Everything that number is built on, B.J. Ojulari represents. He's as good as a person as he is a football player. So obviously a tough loss for LSU. I don't know if they made it official on what the announcement was. I don't think he's going to play in the bowl game.
Yeah, I doubt it. Yeah. He didn't say in that little, letter.
Post. Yeah, his post.
But I mean, I doubt that he goes through. I mean, I know Jay Ward specified when he put out his announcement. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, there's always a possibility, but
I mean, where does he rank amongst when you talk about like statesmen for LSU? There wasn't a more constant. It felt like he was a professional.
Yeah,
like a consummate professional in terms of in front of the microphone, like off the field. It's like it couldn't have been a better representation for what LSU's brand is trending toward.
Well, not only that, I mean, he, a player too.
Oh, no, right? That's what I'm saying. You rarely get both.
Yeah, right. You rarely are able to kind of get both that checks both boxes, and he does. I mean, I think that there were spurts during this season where he was probably grading higher than Will Anderson at that spot. Where in this league, everybody anticipated Anderson to be the guy, and he is, and he'll probably be the high round draft, or he'll be the higher draft pick. But I think that BJ made himself a lot of money this season by just showing that he can do more than just go get the quarterback. And now that's a huge premium in the NFL, but versatility that he showed he has is only going to do him a lot of good. I think that he'll be he'll be remembered for a long time at LSU. The 3 years that he was here was unfortunate, right? I mean, he came in the class that was recruited off of the national championship. In 2020, he came in that class with Kayshawn and crew. And really, you thought that this class was going to see a lot of success, and they did not, right? I mean, that was kind of like Eli Ricks and Kayshawn and B.J. Ojulari, and those were guys that you knew were frontline recruits. And Ojulari and Kayshawn obviously played out, even Eli Ricks early on, but it did not translate into wins for this recruiting class as much as this season did, right? I mean, they were able to – it's good to see a kid like B.J. Ojulari have an experience of going to Atlanta while at LSU to play for an SEC title. Now, he didn't win the game, but, just to be a part of a team that experienced that type of success was good to see for for a guy like Ojulari because he just, he was here during a very chaotic time at LSU. You thought you were signing up for something and you got something else. I mean, if you were a recruit, if you were a senior in high school in 2019 and you were looking at LSU, they were the model program of college football. If you showed up in 2020 as a freshman, it was nothing of what it looked like, a couple of months before that. It was just very, it was in turmoil. It was just, there was a lot going on. And, guys like Kayshawn and B.J. Ojulari were able to kind of rise above that and still produce on the field, even though you could see that their team was struggling. You could see that the talent was there, and for it to all come together here this season for a kid like BJ and this crew was cool. So obviously pulling for him throughout his professional journey and beyond, and always will be grateful for what he did for our show, man. I mean, BJ Ojulari was the first person that I reached out to when we started the Jordy Culotta show, and thinking that we needed to create some traction in an NIL world, to bring our show credibility. We were leaving a corporate organization that comes with credibility behind a show's name. When you get out there and you start to do it independent, you have to build that credibility. And having guys like Kayshawn and BJ on, early on for us was very influential and very instrumental in our growth. And I was always taken back of just how positive and how
polished,
yes, and just how smart BJ was, man. I mean, he would come over on a Sunday night after a Saturday night of just brutal football and talk about it. And would always represent himself in the program to the highest class. So I love BJ Ojulari, man. So I'm always going to be pulling for him, and hopefully he has tremendous success in the NFL.
And it doesn't feel like it's one of the LSU guys when you talk about, like, when you see him get to the league, like, damn, where was that when he was at LSU?
Oh, no.
Daniil Hunter, it's like, no, he showed you everything that he could pretty much, like, he played as well for LSU as what you would expect. He's not going to be, and because I do think when he gets to the league, it's going to be like flash, and people are going to be like, oh, wait, where did he go? And it's like, yeah, he was doing that for 3 years for LSU when they weren't good. And for him to be able to kind of just put my head down and go to work whenever it's like in the age of a transfer portal or an NIL deal, he was like, no, I'm a Tiger.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what makes you love LSU and Baton Rouge. And like, that's the consummate like representation of what you want of your program.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I think that you pull for BJ Ojulari just because of the person that he is. The fact that he loves football and loves LSU is cool to it. But I mean, he will definitely be successful